cool wallpapers. It's a subscription-based service app for $12 a month. That's not illegal or bad or evil in any way inherently, but the idea of paying a subscription fee for HD wallpapers is absurd, and it seemed absurd to a lot of people, and the free version was horribly optimized, and the wallpapers that came free were only available in low quality. On top of that, the privacy policy of the app got Marques into a bit of hot water as well. Look at this. Data used to track you. The following data may be used to track you across apps and websites owned by other companies.
Ah, that was cringe. Anyways.
Marques, hey, stop it. We're talking about mouthpieces for the Chinese Communist government right now. The idea of
enjoy my
$12, 50% of it was supposed to go to the artist that made the wallpapers, and the other 50% was supposed to go to, I guess, directly to Marques Brownlee's pocket, or to pay for development, probably. People quickly realized that this app was poorly made, though. Hackers were able to bypass the paywall and download all the HD wallpapers instantly.
Anyways,
so it was a privacy nightmare, and it didn't have any security, so people could just log in, and the UI was terrible as well. It was just a really dumb idea for a product, to be honest. It's unfortunate because I do like Marques Brownlee, and I think he means well, but man, you know, this plus the driving really fast and filming a crime in a 35 mile per hour, you know, that's kind of dumb. Those are kind of dumb things. So this is a poop on this one. All right, this is 2 poops.
Ah, shit. 2 YouTube poops? Well, I threw that over their head.
What makes the poop rating even worse for Marques is that people were quoting him
I'm doing
for a
so
tweet
bad.
that he made back in 2016 that was golden rule #1 of the internet. Never try to charge for something that was already free. And that is exactly what he did. He made a wallpaper app where you pay money to get wallpapers and also made it bad. So people were gotching him, pointing out that he was doing the exact same thing, which he criticized, you know, a long ass time ago before many years. And to make matters yet again even worse, people found that the company wasn't even started from the ground up. It was just a repackaged app that someone had released in 2021.
Hey, this is why I'm practicing a lot, because I'm
that's actually really wild. He white labeled a wallpaper app. I mean, I get white labeling some stuff, you know, it makes sense. You're not gonna seize the means of production, but for a wallpaper app, you can do that. You can make an app. You can just make an app with like a little bit of time and some support, and then a couple artists. You could do this. You don't have to buy an existing app. So you get a lot of pushback, all right? And after realizing all the hate that Marques was getting, he slowly realized that there was a lot that needed to be fixed, like a whole lot. So he addressed the controversy. The controversies around the app. Good job. Part of building in public is getting mass feedback immediately, which is pretty dope. Almost exactly like publishing a YouTube video. Basically, he acknowledged a lot of the wrongdoing. They're gonna fix the excessive data disclosures, etc. as far as pricing.
Yeah, but I don't want to play Neon White today.
I feel like he did take the criticism like a champ. He does seem like a pretty intelligent, well-adjusted guy.
Damn it.
From all that I can see. And he made an entire video about it after massively getting shit on. In the video, he states that there will be no more third-party ads and that the non-collections of wallpapers are now in 1080p with no ads as well. And if you want a full resolution version, sometimes 4K to 8K, you get the full resolution after 1 ad. So it offsets the costs of the app and then still pays the artists. It's cool that criticism actually works sometimes when you're criticizing someone like Marques Brownlee. Not everyone on this list gets criticized and then changes. Not everyone on this list does that. Not everyone on this list even acknowledges criticism at any point ever. Some of the people on this list
there we go. That's
even
good timing.
people, and I can prove it. I've got all the documents, all the white paper. I got a list. So yeah, Marques Brownlee, definitely a respectful business owner and a valid part of the YouTube community, in my opinion. I like Marques
I ran
Brownlee
into the wall.
D'Amelio popcorn snacks.
Really?
These are
I'm too high.
called Be Happy snacks, and it's just popcorn. They have 3 flavors on their website: white cheddar, Himalayan pink salt, and cotton candy. Popcorn? Oh, that's 2 poops for me.
Did I miss one of the casts?
I got with it until they said cotton candy. That seems disgusting for a flavor of popcorn. Could be wrong though. Let me know down below. Is cotton candy popcorn any good, guys? The prices aren't the worst. It's not like movie theater price of popcorn, which is like $0.01 per kernel. It's $5 for 5 ounces, which I feel like is fairly reasonable for this cool packaging and stuff. It's $4 in a store. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about popcorn. It's not an awful price. The bags are pretty big. It seems cool, and it's got this happy family of extremely talented, famous people just plastered all over it. I love it when someone's kid gets famous and then they make their whole family famous. That's really cool, especially when parents are like really desperate for the spotlight. I love that, dude. I wish my parents actually cared about me. No, they do. They just don't give a f about anything that I do, which is good. I love that about them. So yeah, 5 ounces of popcorn for $5. I would rather just get a Doritos Nachos cheese
I got
tortilla
distracted because I'm
snack
bad,
chip
so I'm
party
just gonna play
size
something
14.5-ounce bag for the same price and
I still have
3
Borderlands
times
I
the
don't.
weight with the same
I'm a
type of
cringe.
food. It's still corn.
Oh, I
They're
installed
corn
Borderlands
chips
3 and I don't want to play
versus,
it.
versus
It's
whatever the
opening?
popped corn. What a scam popcorn is.
I'm
I was
so
really giving them
cringe.
the benefit of the doubt, by the way, in the beginning, because there are multiple other types of popcorn for sale, like Boom Chicka Pop. They sell a bag of 7-ounce popcorn for $3, and there's also this Valley Popcorn. It's a pound of popcorn for $4, dude. That's a feed sack of popcorn. And this is Charlie D'Amelio. I'm not sure if she even was the one behind it, but she has 155 million followers on TikTok and gets like sometimes a lot of views. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on TikTok. I don't really know a lot about it. I can't imagine Be Happy Snacks is selling that well. Her channels aren't exactly doing very well, and they did a publicity stunt to try and promote the popcorn. She thought it'd be a great idea if she pretended to work at Walmart, you know, like poor people do. You know, guys, like poor people do. You know, like she doesn't, because she has 155 million followers. What a great idea for promoting your product. Let's LARP as normal people. Ah, yes! Let's LARP as normal people with real jobs who actually contribute meaningfully to society. Hey, buddy. 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 Hey, buddy.
Time to play Borderlands, because I'm bad.
Hey, buddy.
Well, I wanted to play Dark Souls.
There's also some pretty bad reviews, which that's not really that big of a deal. You can just change your recipe, I guess. Some people said that the cotton candy tastes like shitty chemicals. I have no proof of this. I just can imagine that cotton candy popcorn probably tastes like shit, but I could just be a jealous hater, by the way. How about Ninja's Nutcase? Ever heard of that, guys? Ever wanted to drink Nutcase? That's a terrible name for a product. I'm just gonna say it. It's a type of milk or something. It's a substitute for your favorite milky treat. You don't want chocolate therapy Ben & Jerry's or a McFucking Flurry or a fucking red thing from Starbucks? Drink Nutcase. I'm sure it tastes exactly the same and or better, especially since it was masterminded by Tyler Ninja Blevins. It's got no dairy, no caffeine, no oils. It's just cashew milk, and by God, it's delicious. Co-founder Tyler Blevins said, "Right away, I love the look and the idea. As soon as I tried it, I was hooked. I have a massive sweet tooth, and Nutcase satisfies my sweet fix in seconds. Super pumped to be a co-founder." Wait, you're telling me he's not making it? You're telling me he's not beating the shit out of cashews to get this juice? He actually does really like this stuff a lot. I think there's more videos of him drinking nut milk than there are of me eating Sour Boys, unfortunately. It doesn't seem that bad. He doesn't seem super involved. He's a marketing partner, I guess, a co-founder of Nutcase. I've never heard of it. I don't know what the f it is. It's $39 for a 12-pack, which is $3 a can. So it's even, I mean, it's not horribly expensive, I guess. It's I would rather drink Dr. Pepper, to be honest, to satisfy my sweet tooth. I don't want to drink nut. So now we're on to one that's a little bit more interesting, and that sounds delicious, and I've never tried it. It is Airrack's Pizzafy sauce. If you don't know who Airrack is, he is sort of like Mr. Beast, but with way less controversy. Still some controversy, but less. Airrack came out with Pizzafy, which is a sauce that they claim it will turn anything into pizza. It's $12 a bottle. It doesn't have that many ingredients. It looks great. The packaging is awesome. They have this really interesting Pizzafy snack box, which has other snacks in it with the sauce, which I think the sauce in this image is just Photoshop. I think all this stuff's just Photoshopped. Yep, that's all Photoshopped in there. That's pretty cool.
That's the wrong way to do that.
3 item? I've got a purchase! They've also got Pizzafy.
I just realized that I took shadow screen, so I just couldn't get back on screen, even though nobody's here.
I just don't know. This seems like a pretty interesting product, but I just don't think it worked out. It seems to have died already. They haven't posted since February of 2023.
Died to be electric.
And that's kind of not good.
Why is it so loud? Hold on.
No.
That's done.
11. I didn't just win a baseball game. In fact, I never won
Got
a
him.
baseball game. That was terrible. So yeah, it seems alright. However, as of researching this doc, all of the Pizzafy products, except for
everything was
the clothing,
breaking my ears.
are out of stock. So, say that more is coming soon. I don't
Okay.
know. It doesn't seem like it, though. It seems like that's it. This next one isn't even a product. It's just an entire
adventure like
line
you.
of products. The toy lines
Arrow
from
to me.
Ryan's
Get
Toy
me.
Review
Epic.
are
Excellent
so
joke me.
incredible. This guy's made, he's a child. He's like 9 years old. He's made so much money, dude. So much money, dude. Ryan's Toy Reviews, just in general, at one point was the most profitable YouTube channel in the world, garnering around $16 million a
My
year,
aim
which is a
is
lot
cringe.
of money. His channel exploded during the Elsagate controversy when giant
Got him.
mystery eggs were super popular, and Ryan's
Giant
family
mystery
tapped into
egg.
that
Remember
trend
Content
massively.
Cop?
Their most popular videos are
Remember
from
when
years ago,
eDubs was
and
cool?
most have over a
And,
billion views.
I mean,
The most
Swaggy
popular
Cereal
having
did a pretty good job,
2
but
billion views. Every child in the
eDubs was
world,
cool, remember?
basically. I think that would be, right? If there's, say, 7.5 billion people, what percentage of those people are under the age of 10? Probably less than 2 billion. So how is that possible? Every child in the world is watching this?
Yeah,
This massive online success
bang.
led to
I do enjoy that I shoot them in the face.
massive toy line. I like
And then they just like stand perfectly still, except they put their hand in front of their face. So maybe I need to think of that.
Toys, and we need to get them into major retailers, and we can sign all sorts of different contracts, and we can use our platforms to leverage marketing.
Yeah,
There will be nothing like this ever again.
most of the toys are just gambling for children. That's mystery eggs with slight variants, which I guess that makes
Gambling for
sense
children,
because
it's funny
most
to
popular
think about
videos are of mystery eggs. In a small egg, you can get putty, a sticker, a tattoo, maybe 2 action figures from the Ryan's Toy Review Cinematic Universe. In the biggest egg, you can get a blueback car,
Got
a
him.
parachute Ryan, more putty, a squishy toy, a red Titan mask, which is from his persona, his alter ego, where he's a vigilante as well, apparently. This kid does everything. He's literally Boss Baby, but also a vigilante, fighting criminals. And you can get a bunch of different variants of action figures from the RTRCU as well. The prices of these
Sure.
gambling eggs range from $9.99 to $60. It seems
so
like a
remind me where it comes
massive
to bargain.
scam. I'm going to be honest.
That is a hole that
Probably
looks like a
lot of
jib
lead
hole.
on it. A lot of the stuff looks like it's straight from China. Other products from
jib hole
Ryan's
too.
Toy Reviews, the child conglomerate magnate genius, include a road trip board game which teaches children US geography, and a Candyland style game that costs $20. There's a magic kit that comes with a bunch of basic magic tricks, stickers, and a coloring book that costs $50.
Yeah, man.
Or you could buy a Ryan-themed art kit for $50 as well. This is
If it's
genius.
hardcore, I'm
These
cooking
toys
with
tapped into a perfect market and offered colorful action figures to large-eyed babies. They're massively successful. It's
Anyways, that was fun.
genius. Then you combine that with a show on Nickelodeon. These bitches are selling extremely fast. Hell, I got some. Just kidding, I don't. It'd be funny though. If I just had a bunch of toys made by a child behind me, that'd be so weird. So yeah, genius. What a
If I
great
can make that
way
jump.
to
Well,
sell
I get to make that
toys, I
jump.
guess. Today, most of Ryan's channels are fairly dead because he's no longer a child.
And this
and
is like
he
an
made out
invisible-
like a bandit. You gotta wonder what it's like to be him. Like, jokes aside, your parents start this YouTube channel and they're just like, all right, now you're famous,
Okay, cool, yeah.
and now you're the most
What's
famous
that?
person in
It
the
looks
world,
like a
baby, buddy,
shield
and
of
you're just a
some
little
kind.
child. You're just a little
A shield
baby.
blocking
Now
the
he's
way,
13 years
so
old. God, that
the
has to be
worst
weird. He must have a
kind.
crazy
You know what?
ego.
Do I have to do
He's like,
everything?
I'm
Find a way
Ryan's
to futz
Toy
with
Review,
it.
don't you? And he's wearing like a little,
He didn't-
a little pinstripe suit.
He just saw a shield and complained he didn't do anything.
I just thought it'd be funny to have like a really mature businessman toy reviewer. I don't know. It's a funny thought. Aging in general for Ryan has to have completely altered how he is perceived by his peers. He was a magnate, a legend in the world of toy reviews. Next up is Mina Snacks, a personal
Oh,
favorite
shit,
of the
Mina.
channel.
I forgot about
Pokimane, a
That time Pokimane did that
massive
cool thing.
Twitch streamer, YouTuber, whatever. I'm not sure exactly what Pokimane's been up to. She made these snacks. Well, actually, she was approached by a some kind of exec from a food company, and they're like, "Hey, I've got this idea. These creator products are all the rage right now. It's the creator economy. Let's put your face. Let's get you to promote this, and we'll just take something that already exists and we'll just repackage it. We'll add a frog hair's worth of vitamin D, and then, you know, any publicity is good publicity. They're just cookies. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
My aim
I
is
tried
so
them, I
cringe.
bought them. They were all right. Not only do they have chocolate
There we
cookie
go.
flavors now, they have a pizza flavor, a little collab with Arak, I think. Just kidding. His shit failed. This is interesting. Little yuzu, Rice Krispie crunch,
I believe this is happening
and
too.
then Midnight Minis. Scratch food bag art. Is this marketing they're trying to do? Is this like extra bags they're trying to market as if it's a full they're just trying to make excuses for not having full runs of things? This is very interesting from a production perspective. Department of Freshness small bag. It's kind of It's smart. They sold some. They took a picture a couple days ago, and it was almost halfway done, and they sold some, I guess. We make real good snacks with nothing. Real ingredients that taste great. Oh, I love them so much. Oh, wow. I love how they're a good source of vitamin D. That's my favorite part. Let's see. Good source of vitamin D. 3 micrograms of vitamin D. And it says good source of vitamin D on the front. Hey guys, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's not a good source of vitamin D. That shouldn't be on the packaging. It's just stupid. Why would you do that? You're trying to mislead people. Everything else though, you know, sure, it's just little simple cookies. Yeah, Mina cookies still around. I think that's awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm glad they're still cooking. I enjoyed them when I tasted them. I just don't like when people lie on their packaging. They're trying to mislead. It's not lying, I guess. But it is misleading. It's objectively misleading, right?
I'm gonna reload.
You're saying it's a good source of vitamin D. It has 3 micrograms. Good source. Relative to what? Anything that has vitamin D in it? That's dirt. Relative to going out in the sun for 5 minutes? No. No, it's not. So, don't. It's just weird. Now, this one you've definitely heard of. It's called Eventually. It was released by Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul, my 3 favorite YouTubers of all time. The collaboration, pre-packaged meal, amazing. They were going to disrupt the market by offering a healthier alternative to traditional brands like Lunchables, which are also full of lead, if you didn't know. It was launched back in September. It has 3 different meals: pizza, turkey stackums, and Fiesta nachos, and not to mention Prime, which is another product, and Feastables, which is another product. It integrated the trio's existing brands into a single product, and by God,
make my magazine type back up.
There's been so much controversy. It is a healthy alternative for sure, but at the same time, it's nonsense. It's not actually healthy in any way. And the marketing, especially from the Logan Paul perspective, saying that Lunchables has lead, and the fact that Lunchly also has lead in it, is misleading and dumb, and yet another example of super out-of-touch YouTubers coming together to make some shit. There was so much controversy when it first
I just landed on my head. I do like just being able to walk into their face and see them as music videos. I am super skilled.
He talked about them selling crap to kids who didn't know any better and to trust the people who are selling it. I reacted very poorly to that because his ego is so frail and his skin is so thin. And then he realized that he was acting like a fool and he started playing the joke. He was like, obviously I'm just going to keep going now because it's too late. I don't know, dude. Then came the mold backlash. YouTuber
wow,
Rosanna
that was...
Cancino shared
How
her
did I fail that last night? I'm cringe.
discovering moldy cheese in a Lunchly pizza kit, in spite of it being well within the expiration date, and then the FDA had to review multiple complaints.
Man, I'm so good at video games.
Safety, but there's a bunch of headlines that there was a recall. There's not a recall. Things can get mold on them.
A road it
That
road
just
too.
happens. Things need to be recalled occasionally. The manufacturing process is not perfect and it never will be, but in order for retailers to buy anything and have anything in stores, there are a lot of stringent hoops that have to be jumped through.
Cool.
So Lunchly is definitely not going to kill anybody any more than a Lunchables would. It has nothing to do also with Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or KSI. But the marketing from Logan Paul saying that Lunchables has lead and Lunchly doesn't is stupid as fuck, and I stand by that, absolutely. With all the criticism, Mr. Beast addressed some stuff, and Logan Paul and KSI
Oh, the way forward is literally over here. I'm
defended
just
the product and
stupid.
attributed negative reception to
Well, I didn't even look
personal
around for them.
biases
Very
against
sad
them,
as
which
it
is
is.
classic, dude. It's just haters. It's just haters. Now possibly the weirdest one on this whole list.
Wait.
Jeffree Star's Yak Ranch. Jeffree Star is a very popular YouTuber who sells yak meat. And if you somehow don't know who Jeffree Star is, he's a very controversial character and apparently a very bad person. I'm not exactly
Who died?
sure, but if you read this
I didn't kill him.
of text on Reddit talking about all of his controversies and horrible things he's done, you might also think that he's a horrible person. This person right here,
Don't
this
enter the boat. Aren't they so funny,
Californian
cat?
mansion dweller, is in the yak meat business. From an outside perspective, that seems crazy. I'm not trying to judge. All right, anybody can be in the yak meat business, apparently. Seems like it. Seems like it's... I mean, it's a unique business idea, okay? I wouldn't expect someone like Jeffree Star, who lives in a house like this, to be dominating the yak meat market. I didn't even know the yak meat market was a damn thing! I didn't know yaks were real! I did know yaks were real. Anyways, Jeffree Star owns a shitload of land and a ton of yaks. Apparently this started with him owning his 70 acres of Casper, Wyoming, but eventually that is 600 acres, and he has
Easy.
a bunch of yaks on that bitch now. He's raising them, fattening them up, and then butchering them and selling all sorts of different yak products. He's got a $20 million mansion in California as well, so the guy has a lot of money. He's pretty much set. The makeup industry is big, and second to that is the yak industry, it seems. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of competition in the online available yak meat market, but he's selling yak meat with a decent amount of flavors, 4 ounces for $20 a bag. That seems pretty steep for just jerky, but if you compare that to other prices of yak meat, it's affordable. This guy's dominating the yak market, non-ironically. A lot of the flavors are sold out.
Big and
It's a pretty
spooky, it's
competitive
cool. Oh,
brand.
the
It's,
cheese
I
back there.
have some respect for this. It's very unique
The aim is so
cool, I
good.
guess. Yes,
That was
I don't know,
epic,
it's pretty
man.
cool.
Great job.
This guy's a controversial character. I don't know enough about him to say whether or not he's good or bad. Maybe I should interview him in my house. I can tell you one thing, though. He is a genuinely insane businessman. There's no argument with that. YouTubers have not been around for quite as long as celebs. Celebs have been around for a long time, and celebs have been making products for way longer than YouTubers have even been around. Walton Goggins, the face of Fallout, the television show, released Walton Goggins goggles glasses, and that's not a joke. And the ads are amazing, and I love Walton Goggins, and I bought 2 pairs. One for myself, one for my father. I'm not joking either. It's not a joke. That's not some kind of, like, it's the sun's very bright in Texas.
Sucks.
Ski goggles work perfectly.
I'm not. I'm good.
Your eyebrows, your ears, etc. You don't want to get sun damage, all right? Thank you, Walton Goggins. So what exactly did Walton Goggins innovate on in regard to the proven glasses formula? He combined your favorite protective eyewear and goggles. They cost $150, which is pretty expensive, but they can be worn 10 different ways. It's $15 a style. You're ripping yourself off by not buying them. I really like these a lot. They are relatively stylish. They're a bit ugly. They're a bit ugly. We wore them to the red carpet recently with this slutty little see-through shirt. Slut. I bought some. I'm not even gonna joke. I bought 2 pairs. That's not a lie. Joke, that's real. It's actually real life. So yeah, that's not embarrassing or whatever. But it's not as embarrassing as Ronaldo's facial fitness pal.
Ow, what?
Cristiano
Motherfucker.
Ronaldo, you know him. His name is synonymous with all things. He recently collabed with Mr. Beast.
Please die. Please
Yeah,
die.
Mr. Beast has been collabing a lot. Cristiano Ronaldo is really big into football, aka soccer. I've been playing soccer since he was 9 years old. He's earned a reputation of being one of the best in the world besides Ronaldo and Messi. I don't know if you guys are Messi or Ronaldo people. I'm neither.
Fuck is that down there for that?
Ronaldo is the symbol of success in football and business. He's got countless records, awards, immense global fame, and that is why he went ahead and created this thing called PAL. I don't know. He went on a Japanese talk show to talk about it. I mean, this is
What the hell is going on?
absolutely embarrassing. Terrible. Terrible. Terrible.
Why are there so many enemies here? I can't believe this.
I don't get the why is he marketing it to Japan? I'm not sure. Also, I don't know if it's still available. I'm not sure if this is a ripoff or the original thing they're still selling. It seems like there's a lot of Japanese here. Look, before PAL, after PAL. Thank you for using a FLIR radar to show that someone's face is hot. Thank you very much. I don't know what this is. I've been using this device for 5 years. I only had to replace it once because I was storing my original device. I need some room for it because of its dimensions, and I only wish it had more additional weights. You do need to wash out the mouth. It works out all major mouth and neck muscle groups. What is this guy like? For 5 years? Probably looks like Kurt Angle. PAL is good and original. I do not like this thing. Painfully front teeth. But you still gave it 3 stars? After 5 days of use, this product left broken veins around my mouth from use. What does that even mean? Yeah, what the fuck is this thing? I don't really know, but a study of the device in 2018 found that it did work therapeutically to increase facial muscle thickness, of course. By working out the muscles in your face, that contributes to facial rejuvenation. It boggles my mind that Cristiano Ronaldo put his stamp of approval on this and went on television and embarrassed himself. This is embarrassing. What the f is this? The next one's called Rap Snacks. I don't know what Rap Snacks are. but you can get them. It's got wrappers on it. It's snacks that have wrappers on it. They're in gas stations and Walmart. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. They're delicious. I just don't get it. I don't really know how much appeal Snoop Dogg has for buying chips. I kind of like it, to be honest. But I don't know if is it a good idea? I'm not sure. They got instant noodle cups now and also lemonades, which is pretty cool.
Wrap snacks, ooh-wee lemonade with Lil Baby on it? I hope they fire. Lil Baby decent. I hope these decent too. We got ooh-wee fruit punch lemonade, ooh-wee pineapple mango lemonade, ooh-wee strawberry watermelon lemonade. This all ain't gonna be fire. Fruit punch? I gotta smell it first. It's like it's gonna be alright.
We're falling deep into the moon.
Got that little bite. It's decent. Get it, Sam.
Decent. I love this guy's accent. I don't know where he's from, but it's got to be the deep south. Lil Baby Decent. Is that Dawson? Is that Dogpack 404? What the I don't know much about the Rap Snacks story, and it's kind of difficult to find information about it, but the CEO of Rap Snacks, James Lindsay, has been in the snack game for decades. According to his About Me section on the Rap Snacks website, he started Rap Snacks in 1994. That's crazy. I just learned about him recently. I didn't know these things have been around since before I was born. This guy graduated from Cheney University with a bachelor degree of science in being decent. Yeah, they sell snacks with rappers, like musicians' faces on them. It's cool, I guess. This next product, Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill, is a bit more controversial than our previous product we talked about. In researching this video, we found one celebrity product that it's, I don't know if it's a prank or if it's a red herring or if it's just not real. Bill and Hillary Clinton had a celebrity product loosely associated with them in 1993. The product was never released, but it did have a lot of trouble. It was not Hillary or Bill that the product was related to, but the Clinton family cat, Socks. This cat, Socks, had a product made in regard to him. It was a video game for the Super Nintendo called Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. It was during the Clinton administration, before the blue dress, before all the blowjobs and everything. Socks was essentially Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb, and he would deal with spies, politicians, the news media, and more to warn the Clintons, primarily Bill, who was president until 2021, about stolen nuclear codes. Apparently, the political satire aspect of the product was great back then. I don't know a lot about the political environment in the early 90s because I was not born, but it looks funny. This game, unfortunately, never saw full-scale production, but a prototype copy was sold to a video game collector.
Oh yeah, ammo.
Unreleased gameplay with YouTube offering evidence including the game. It's not like Polybius, it's actually real. Even back in 2012, a guy named Tom Curtin bought the game and intended to release it. He acquired the rights to the game in 2015, at which point he launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund the game's release. It's pretty interesting. You can be in the game, you can get a cartridge, you can get a photo. I don't know, man. Ironically enough, though, the project was fully funded on November 8th, 2016. Election day, Hillary Clinton lost on that day, by the way, to Donald Trump. And even though Hillary Clinton lost, Socks won. Now, that being said, it hasn't come out yet, to my knowledge. I don't know if it's ever been released. I think just people who wanted the Kickstarter got copies. You can
there's more.
The next three products I'm going to clump together because they're very similar. One is called Goop, the other is called Blood, and the third is called the three horses of the apocalypse. All right. For a pale horse rode on it.
Now, someone give me a face to
Gwyneth Paltrow. Look at this email
I'm doing
listing.
so well.
Read this. It smells like my... What? Gross. I do not want to smell that. Gwyneth Paltrow has had a company called Goop since 2008, and it started as a weekly, weird, insane newsletter from her kitchen. Sought to foster hard conversations and explore taboo topics that are hard to approach, I guess, just amongst like super rich middle-aged women. Since then, it has expanded into various forms of merchandising and has become a one-stop shop for brain rot. They got beauty, fashion, wellness products, etc. They even have adult products like restraint tape, desire gummies, other freaky weirdo things. With a heavy emphasis on the taboo and sexual freedom, there's only a matter of time until something freaky came out of the website, and at one point, Gwyneth Paltrow made a jade egg, which is meant to be inserted inside your pussy. It was released for $66. Stick it in there and you like flex, you like. I don't have a vagina, so I don't know. This thing was also marketed to harness the power of interview work and nonsense. I mean, absolutely nonsense. He's been fined $145,000 in California for unsubstantiated claims regarding the egg, which is awesome. Totally deserved. Wish it was more. Wish it was more. Rubber face it, dude. Rubber face it. You shouldn't lie to people like that. No. Eventually, though, after recovering from the massive L that is the stupid egg thing, Gwyneth would sell a candle unlike any other. Goop released a candle named This Smells Like My Dirty. It sounds completely insane. It's so that, obviously, because it is insane. Even critical. But one most critical is footage of him lighting it, smelling it.
Plastic.
Smells like it's
Delightful.
I'm pretty sure most of the people who bought this were just YouTubers looking to review the scent for a video for clicks. I mean, there's a lot of reviews online. And then other people just bought it so they could resell it on eBay, I guess, because it's a celebrity product. She also released a subsequent candle called This Smells Like My, which seems like more unsubstantiated claims. I don't know how that's even possible to smell that. It's weird, but you know, these all sold out, and they were a successful product. They're still being sold on eBay. It's crazy. Now, we'll talk about Lady Gaga right after this. The last candle is a perfect segue into our Lady Gaga product. In 2011, Lady Gaga released a fragrance of her own design. She was the Fame monster back then, and her fragrance line would be called Fame. The scent we're talking about today is Black Fluid. Black Fluid became known as the blood and perfume because a rumor began circulating about the perfume's ingredients, and Lady Gaga described the perfume by stating the following: I wanted to extract sort of the feeling and the sense of blood and semen from a molecular structure. So that's where that came from.
Doing?
You can
Very
just
cool,
get
very
that
cool.
feeling after sex from the semen, and the blood is sort of primal, and it was taken out of my own blood sample. So it's a sense of having me on your skin. That's insane. 6 million
And now I can
bottles
see
of this
better.
shit were sold
In a
thanks to
blind.
that marketing rumor. Some people thought her blood was in it. It was just not though. They sold 6 million though in a single week. It's crazy. It's the fastest selling
shiny.
perfume
I do love
ever
that.
of all time. I'm gonna make a candle called This Smells Like My Penis.
I forget, it's probably not that.
I
Let's
didn't
keep
even mean to
moving.
say that.
Yeah,
I just misspoke. I mumbled it. It's been a really long day. I'm still recording. It's 9 o'clock. And I woke up at 8. Couple honorable mentions. Muhammad Ali had roach traps, and I gotta say that's probably one of the most out-of-pocket celebrity products I've ever heard of ever. It's a roach trap.
I told you I don't want you living with roaches. Now I'm gonna show you how to kill roaches where you don't want to spray, like around food and dishes. Get yourself decon roach traps. No poison, no spray.
Why is it so
Roaches
strong?
get trapped inside and wham, they're dead.
I get sad watching Muhammad Ali during his descent into Parkinson's and brain damage. They were available around the world, and Decon is still out there. Decon roach traps, they still sell bait and stuff. Back in 1980 though, it seems like celebrity endorsements were still new, so Muhammad Ali had quite a few commercials in regard to roach traps. Unfortunately though, he promoted a product called Forgone, which included D-trans, elephrin, and petroleum distillate, and there's a lot of health hazards in regard
Really
to
should look
all
up what
that,
the fuck they're saying there. Is this
not
just the
good. Very
beginning?
hazardous. It was the 80s though.
Where am I?
I don't want you living with roaches. Wipe them out with decon power. Decon, more power to you.
Bonk.
Damn, that shit was super toxic and hurt a lot of people. Also, the Jeremy Renner app, which, dude, this guy's a legend. Jeremy Renner is such a strange guy. He made an app.
Stay with one flex, would you?
It's like what OnlyFans models do with the AIs of themselves. They call people and they're just like super parasocial. This guy, Jeremy Renner, has to be the most parasocial of all celebrities. Happy Friends Day. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean, Jeremy Renner? What do you mean by this,
not
Jeremy
going
Renner?
anywhere.
I am Jeremy Renner. Are the crack cocaine dealers in the Los Angeles metropolitan area? I'm Jeremy Renner.
Is that like a mini boss introduction? Was I supposed to be threatened by
Have
that?
a rockin' weekend, everyone. What's the plan? We'll be looking at porn. It's difficult to even explain how ridiculous this app is. It is the most parasocial, cult-like, weird thing that exists. It's kind of like how TikTok Live operates. The more stars you send, the more likely Jeremy Renner will notice you. I don't know if he's still using this. I'm not sure who the Jeremy Renner is, honestly. He's a weird guy. Really talented actor. I've never met him, obviously. He's a celebrity. But my God, you gotta be lunatic to have an app like that. Now on to the scummiest product on this entire
That was a sick
list,
flip
the
game.
Kardashian card. The Kardashians are a modern day Kennedy family, minus the death and conspiracy. Well, there was a bit with the OJ stuff, but their Camelot is in Los Angeles instead of DC, and they have made millions of dollars.
This is my
from
kind of
many
holiday.
different avenues, from TV, modeling, skincare brands, just being dumb as sex tapes, etc. One attempt at making money was called out to be a scam immediately after it was released in November of 2010. Sisters Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney released the Kardashian card. It was a prepaid debit card that targeted their young child's dumbass audience. They claimed it was a good tool to help them with their finances.
I
which,
killed you.
judging by this, I don't see that as a reality. Parents were thinking that they were getting their kids a good deal by getting them a card that was endorsed by their favorite stupid celebrities, but they're dead wrong. The rates and fees associated with this card were extremely high and predatory, and not in any way helpful for young adults learning how to use credit cards. Here are the fees and rates. A $10 activation fee, a $7.95 monthly fee, a $1.50 transaction fee per ATM withdrawal, and a customer service call fee for $1.50 a call. Then there were even more cardholders. Pretty predatory, obviously a scam. Parents instantly viewed this as a predatory scam, which led to many of them dropping the card, and on top of those fees, the parents were paying crazy amounts of money out of pocket. The card required an initial fee of $59.95 for 6 months or $99.95 a year, with a subsequent monthly fee of $7.95. Over 2 years, users could incur costs exceeding $195, including additional fees from just doing nothing. It was 2011. A lawsuit was filed against the three sisters, claiming they broke the contract, and as a result, it ruined the card's potential success. And they paid $75 million in damages. The case was dismissed, and they were paid $7,000 legal fees of the trial.
Can't believe they're summoning another one. This is bullshit.
Overall, what a massive failure, and by God, be wary of any
How does this
famous
even work?
person doing anything that doesn't have to do directly with what they're doing and how they got their money and how they started. Just be wary of it, because they don't really care. It's just about money. It's just about money. It's just about money, which that's fine, I guess, if it's a good product. You know, if you want to support them, like Jeremy Renner, if you're a massive Wednesday! It's Wednesday! Yeah! Hey, dumbass, shut up. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Why do they keep spawning?
Go to sour.gg, buy some candy. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Maybe I'm just wasting my time repeatedly killing them. By maybe, I mean probably.
I uncovered a fraud worth $4 billion. There's an FBI investigation, lawsuits, and a lot of influence.
I still have, unfortunately, the worst coin that ever existed, SafeMoon.
This is the story of SafeMoon, a crypto coin that millions of people hold, and some believe is here to change the world.
It's more than just talking about a store of value, which wasn't the focus. It's more about building the future, building a safe future, and bringing it now.
But what if they're wrong? I've been working with a small team to investigate SafeMoon for almost a year now, and what we've uncovered is shocking. Secret payments.
I believe you got to pay off in one way.
Deleted evidence.
It's a true FBI operation here, redacted everything.
And hundreds of millions of dollars that appears to have been stolen on the blockchain. Welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, CoffeeZilla. Let's get into it.
Are you sure this is smart? I mean, this isn't the small fries you used to go after.
Yeah, I know.
This is a billion-dollar company.
I know.
You're accusing some of these people of actual crimes.
Look, I know.
Do you? Do you know? There's risks to messing with money like this. This isn't a game anymore.
Right into the vault. What am I doing?
You really
What
think
am I
it's so
doing?
irresponsible of me? How about we flip for it? Heads, I go through with the video. Tails, I don't. This is a story of greed, bad financial decisions, and somehow Gambian wind farms. The creators of SafeMoon are now being sued and investigated by the FBI, but before we get to that, we have to discuss how did this all
Sounds like
start?
enemy
Who
people.
creates coins like SafeMoon? Was it a crypto mastermind like Soulja Boy or Larry V? No. It turns out it was a guy who believes in Q. Yeah, that Q. His name is Kyle, and very little is known about him other than he distrusts the government and thinks they're a bunch of criminals, which, I don't know, fair enough, I guess.
Oh,
but
just over
Kyle's
here was
not
the
gonna
answer?
complain
Cool.
about it like Mosby. And I think he decided at some point, if you can't beat him, you might as well join him. And he decides getting into crypto is the perfect way to start redistributing some of that wealth back to himself. And that's when he starts making a bunch
Excellent
of
aim, I swear. that you
coins
haven't
like
you haven't
"Give
seen
me
shit like
your
this
money"
before.
token. Really classy stuff, you know. But for some reason, it really wasn't working out for him until Kyle found something called B. Now, when Kyle invested in the B token, he liked that it had a special property.
Fucker.
A 5% tax on every transaction, which was then split into 2 parts. 3% was added back to the liquidity pool, and 2% was distributed to all the holders of B, which just encouraged people not to sell. You just held and made
Elden
money.
Ring's installed.
And Kyle liked
Yay.
this idea a lot, which is why soon after he copied the code and launched it himself. But with
Gonna
a few
go get
changes,
ammo and
he
then-
raised the tax to 10%, and he changed the name to something a lot more catchy. He called it SafeMoon, and he promised everyone from the beginning, no rug is possible. Join us on our journey safely to the moon. Now, just so you understand, in the world of meme coins, SafeMoon basically translates to easy money, safe money. It's like setting the world's most delicious cheese on the world's most obvious trap, which is why, of course, everyone fell for it.
Look, I appreciate your concern, but somebody has to do this. There are literally millions of people who are invested in SafeMoon.
And those millions are gonna hate you for it. You think anyone who is in SafeMoon is gonna be grateful for your story? They're gonna be pissed, Coffee. And not at the people who lied to them, but at you for telling them the truth. The probability of you coming out ahead is unlikely. That's all.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But you're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
You humans are so confusing.
SafeMoon immediately went viral because of the promise
Should sell
of
some of the stuff
safe,
in my
easy
inventory.
money, and Kyle pretty clearly wasn't ready for it. People who knew him say Kyle kind of didn't think this stupid plan would actually work.
I'm James. I was a senior moderator.
Over here! I killed you!
Which any of those shots actually hit it? That was embarrassing.
The expectation was that he would be in and out.
That's right. He was expecting to be in and out, and I only can imagine how he probably thought to himself, how can people be falling for this? But clearly they were, and Kyle decided he may need to hire some people at this point to help him out.
But when it did
Yeah,
kick
that's
off,
cool.
he wasn't prepared. He had to bring in people really fast.
And he did. Kyle hired a bunch of people, almost as unqualified as himself. There's a guy, Thomas Smith, who became the lead developer. He's a grown man who insists everyone call him Papa.
I'm here, Papa. The lead dev here.
And after Papa, a guy
Interesting
named
fellow.
John Peroni is
Fellow.
brought on as the CEO of SafeMoon. And he turns out to be the guy in the group project that sort of everyone ends up hating.
Their argument had always been, oh, we brought John on in the heat of the moment because we needed to. It was an emergency. We're so sorry for bringing him in and ruining the project.
There's also a bunch of people
Thanks,
hired
Jack.
at this time that
Very, very
doesn't
cool
need to
friend.
know till later, so we're just gonna ignore them for now. But here they are on screen. This was just all thrown together in the heat of the moment. Call it what you want. The incompetent Avengers, the League of Extraordinarily Stupid Gentlemen. Either way, it kind of worked in their favor for the following reason.
It is hard to tell when SafeMoon is malicious and when it is stupid. There just is a problem with that, and there's reasons for that, which we can get into later.
You see, that's Bootsy, one of the researchers I work with, and you can tell he's sort of been hit by this
Guardian.
smokescreen of stupidity
Sentinel.
that
Wrong
SafeMoon
one.
has created. Like,
Guardian of the
here's a
Vault.
guy who's
Close
been
enough.
researching SafeMoon for 11 months alongside Strider and myself, and we're all still baffled. People just can't figure out how something this dumb made this much money.
So, valuation
$4 billion all in 9 months.
It almost helped them in a way, and people were buying like crazy. Because who doesn't want easy,
Holy
safe
shit.
money? And you know who actually loves easy, safe money more than anyone? Infinite.
Oh yeah, I could break him multiple times. Oh no, he's on fire.
Those are just the haters that needed to be destroyed by the
Patient!
That, by the way, is the name SafeMooners gave themselves. And they
And
declared
now
war
for
on
action.
the haters. Here's one of many of these SafeMooners told us.
We're safe, and I'm safe to soul. I didn't get this tattoo for no damn reason. Nobody will ever silence me with threats or threaten.
You know, it's almost embarrassing to watch a grown man defend a token that was designed to rob of his money. But maybe it's time to talk about just that. How SafeMoon was designed. We're going to talk
I'm
about
so good
how
at video
SafeMoon
games.
was supposed to be so safe. Because that's really money is
Oh shit! He's laser beaming me. Oh.
But what does that mean? It means by the way you with something called LP, liquidity. Every pool basically has two different purposes. The point of it is to provide buyers and sellers a way to trade without regular Wall Street. In a liquidity pool, the way it works is the ratio of your two assets determines the price. For example, one liquidity pool might hold 5,000.
I don't know what's up with this laser, but they bring it.
Together, and the price is just the ratio of that.
What is that laser beaming?
I can trade on either side. I can sell SafeMoon, putting SafeMoon in the pool, getting BNB out at that ratio, or I can buy SafeMoon by putting BNB into it. And as people buy and sell, this ratio shifts and the price changes automatically. Now, the more liquidity you have, the bigger the pool is, the better the price stabilizes. And I can show you all collectively yawning at the point where we move on before we put anyone to sleep, but just know that the innovation of SafeMoon is this idea that every time someone trades, you just take 5% of it as cash, put it into the liquidity pool, and lock that thing up. SafeMoon companies can't touch it. That way you know as an investor, you can only trade SafeMoon for a fair price. This is how you really understand the economy get rug pull, where suddenly the price or liquidity
Easy money.
collapse.
Wow, it's a good video game.
With KC so the market cap is $2.168 trillion. And now the market. Oh! It went to zero! The whole pitch of SafeMoon is basically, look, rug pulls like that, that's impossible with SafeMoon because the money's locked up. It's right there in the README. It's automatically.
Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Or wait, was it auto-locking? Because I kind of read that too. Oh, that's probably the same thing. Unless it wasn't locked at all. Uh-oh, this is confusing. SafeMoon appears to be contradicting itself. Maybe we should go to the CEO of SafeMoon so he can explain it once and for all.
So the LP lock is automated, not automatic. Automated and automatic are not the same thing.
That didn't help. Well, maybe we go to the source code that they copied from B-Token and figure out what's going on. Surely B-Token wasn't the rug pull.
So we have this B-Token token. B was the smaller.
What's happening, chat?
Oh! Well, that's even worse. How are we getting out of this one?
Our big difference, you're going to find that we're never going to run.
Uh-oh, I think we're looking at a Pinky Promise protocol here, fellas. But if B-Token could rug this, that means the funds are also so that was kind of a huge lie. But surely this guy has the best of intentions having skeletons come out of his closet later and incriminate him. I said, knowing that I'm about to play a clip.
Easy.
Let's not pretend why we're here. Well, this ideological, like, let's save the block.
That's not going
This is
anywhere.
about money.
Oh, we're in a big
Oh,
trouble
come
here.
on, then.
Look, guys, I'm not against money, right? I'm American, so I like money. As long as the next guy isn't Jake Paul. But, you know, this just doesn't seem like a good deal. Especially when the founder created a token called Give Me Your Money. But I get it. Look, that's just my opinion, right? And so that's when I started looking at the blockchain. I started collecting all the things.
Very cool moment, boss. Very cool.
Kyle had already been rug pulling SafeMoon since it started, just more slowly than the B-Token guy. See, on March 5th, this shows up on the blockchain as the function remove liquidity, which, of course, they said was impossible. And the first time they took from the cookie jar, it wasn't for much, only $14,000 take. Added up, and they worked with a blockchain researcher to find out just how much Kyle
So that is a terrible job of it.
This grossed him just under 10.3 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Well, that was easy.
And maybe that's why the budget seemed like it wasn't. They may have been booming from influencers, but they were suffering from a major PR problem known as evidence. And this is what a Twitter account called War on Rugs appeared, who started warning people that, quote, the likelihood of losing all funds was absolute with SafeMoon. Now, this was a pretty epic ownage of facts and logic from War on Rugs here, and it seemed like SafeMoon was on the ropes right up until War on Rugs decided to scam people himself with his own rug pull, to which, yeah, the only response is...
Hand me that loot. I require it.
How? The guy calling out scams decided to scam people himself, which, as you guys know, I would never do.
Nah.
Pump the Stockzilla. And basically, SafeMoon was like, aha,
Farewell,
that guy's
challenge.
a scammer,
You
so
were fun
are we
while
cool
you
now, everyone?
lasted.
And everyone
Fuck
was
yes.
kind of like, I guess we'll forget about it all.
He both seemed to have pointed something out pretty important about SafeMoon.
Oh, an
but
even
then he
better
also
version of this
turned
crystal?
out to be a
Fuck
real
yes.
And after War on Rugs, the SafeMoon army just really kind of rallied against anti-scammers, and they made it their mission to expose the exposers with people like this.
This channel will be dedicated to exposing opportunists and shillers of FUD. FUD, for those that are new to the term, stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. My mission is
That's
to
what FUD
analyze and
means.
expose those that use FUD to manipulate you for their own personal gain.
Because I wanted to start using it online, ironically.
Rambo over here
Just
going
make a
SEAL
problem.
Team 6 and all the haters, SafeMoon must be doing pretty well. And it's true, they decided it was a good time to clear up all the FUD once and for all with a smart contract audit.
Today, the SafeMoon audit just dropped on our heads.
So that happened, except the auditors were like, yeah, your code kind of sucks, and there are major vulnerabilities. My favorite
yeah.
quote is that they said mishandling it can have devastating consequences to the project, to which SafeMoon was like, oh, well, you don't have to worry about that, because if we took your money, we'd get sued and go to jail. Now, of course, within a year of that, they would be sued and investigated by the FBI, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. SafeMoon, even for all its hype, just really still
Oh,
has
he's just not being fair to
problems
them.
internally. Like, people are leaving the company. Everything is kind of a mess. And maybe that's why at some point the
Big
ownership
bastard,
of
wasn't he?
SafeMoon was
Nicely done.
transferred over.
Keep an
to
eye out for that
Papa.
creepy red one.
And just so you guys
I don't wanna
understand,
get interrupted.
the SafeMoon community
Wait.
like worships this guy. Here's an
That's
example.
it?
This guy says,
That
Papa's literally a
little thing.
genius. XRP
The
offered him
hell
$2 million to work with them, and he denied it. Any blockchain project would die to have Papa on their team, and Papa says, like, true. Now, later, the XRP team would reply that they had no idea who Papa was and had never heard of them. But the point is,
Oh
the SafeMoon
my
people thought Papa was
God.
the reincarnation of Satoshi
I
Nakamoto,
get it.
and that he was going to usher
I
SafeMoon into a
understand.
golden age of prosperity.
understand
And now, did that
everything.
happen? No. In reality, Papa just stole more money. Like Kyle did, except he was a bit craftier about it, I guess. Like when Kyle stole money, he just kind of took from the liquidity pool. But Papa was different. He had a story about it. He justified himself by saying he wasn't rug pulling liquidity. He was moving the funds in a fund migration from a version 1 liquidity pool to a version 2. And as they told it, it was for the people's benefit. In fact, every time Papa migrated these funds, he would send the same memes every time.
kill them
Boom.
all.
But behind all the boomer memes,
That's
not
been
all the
gross.
money made its way
You're
over,
gonna find
and
me a
you might not be
doctor.
surprised to find out
Then
that
we're gonna
some of
wipe
it
those
found its way
bandit
into Papa's
bastards
pockets.
off the
We
face of
first find a hint
Pandora.
of this on
And
May
then-
12th when he says, I
we're
migrated the
gonna
LP
wake
in a
the
way I figured
warrior.
everyone would
The
love.
what?
But here's what actually happened.
So
I'm going to
good.
visualize what Papa should
We're
have done
gonna
versus what he actually
scorch
did.
the freaking
What was
planet
supposed to
with
happen
fire.
in a migration
There's
is that he
gonna
would
be
move the B&B
screaming
SafeMoon pair from
bandits
V1
gonna
to
die
V2.
left and
Simple, right?
right.
Instead, Papa did something different. He took the B&B
can't
pair from
wait.
V1, but kept the SafeMoon, and he only put the B&B into the V2 pool with a purchase.
And
of
that is
SafeMoon.
when the hero who
Meaning
saved us
Papa
on
got
Helios
more
died.
SafeMoon from the
That
V2
was when I
contract
left
as
Handsome
well.
Jack's
Now, on the
employ.
surface, this appeared to cause the price to spike because a huge purchase order was
You
just
regret
made.
teaming up with
But
Jack?
in reality, Papa
Yes.
was keeping
Now do what
gigantic
you
amounts
will.
of SafeMoon that he could later sell for a personal profit. And the value of SafeMoon overall was falling. Once
Kill
again,
her.
me and some
What?
researchers
No!
calculated
If it weren't for
how
people
much
like
in
her, our friends
dollars
might still
Papa
be
took.
alive.
And
Ready?
here's what we found.
This ain't us,
So
Bill.
Thomas withdrew
This
liquidity
ain't you.
18 different times. He actually held on to $143 million worth of liquidity. The sum of outgoing SafeMoon transactions was about $100 million. Of that $100 million, $58.9 million went to Bitmart, and $8.1 million went to other undisclosed wallets.
I feel like I need to remind everyone, This is the same guy who also said this.
Our big difference, you're gonna find that we're never gonna run.
So I guess turns out that was a big lie. Money wasn't safe after all. But as with all things Safe Moon, things are about to get much worse. You have to understand, Safe Moon at this point was under a lot of stress, and the team was kind of fracturing internally. Karoni in particular was the most hated on the team. People didn't like how he wanted to run things. And here's one of Safe Moon's own developers, Hank Wyatt, blaming him for a lot of Safe Moon's problems.
Mr. Tassiter's been replaced, sweet cheeks. Starting today, you're working for me.
John wouldn't let us lock up $250 million in liquidity. That's why all the FUD was. And when we asked him, hey, we don't need this money, we shouldn't touch it.
Handsome Jack.
And he said, oh, no, but we can still use some of it. And he wanted
He's the handsomest of Jacks.
Yeah, they can lick my whole balls.
Now I know what you're thinking. I probably could have cut that last part of the call and you still would have gotten the gist.
They can lick my whole balls.
But, you know, I really think you have to hear these people describe John Karoni in its full glory to understand just how hated this guy was.
There's like no substance to the human there, and he's just
John's a fucking monster and does not care about his employees whatsoever.
This is gonna sound really up, and I apologize in advance. But the only time I like John is when he's depressed.
See, now you get the picture.
The only time you like someone is when they're sad.
And this rift only escalated with Operation Phoenix.
First signs of this was when John started talking about Project Phoenix, which he then changed to Project Phoenix because he spelled it wrong and refused to admit that he just made a spelling error, and I have no idea why, but it will haunt me till the end of my life because he literally could have just switched it, and instead he is running with it to this day.
We're fast approaching our full unveil of Operation Phoenix.
But he starts talking about Project Phoenix. The rest of the team doesn't talk about it at all, which didn't seem like much at the time until later on when we get the leaked audio.
Can you explain what the Operation Phoenix is?
Nobody can explain what Operation Phoenix is, including John.
Operation Phoenix is a little bit of a journey, but it's mainly a bunch of different complex things coming together to create an evolution.
He has a lot of claims of what it can be, or what it could be. It started out as banking the unbanked in Africa, the most overused phrase by anyone who has a lot of money in the crypto space. Talked about how it was going to be utilized as a currency in the Gambia. Then it became about windmills and clean energy. Then it became about burning tokens with those windmills. Somehow the phrase every turn a burn became a thing for a while. Nanotechnology was used at one point, according to them. I can't go any farther than that. Truly, I'll just keep rambling about it. It's gobbledygook. It makes no sense.
So to summarize, John is off doing whatever Project Phoenix is, and he wants to use the Safe Moon war chest to fund it. Meanwhile, the core team kind of hates John, they resent him, but they can't kick him out because he's the CEO. So instead, they decide to start a new project. They call it Piggy Bank Token.
So the idea of Piggy appeared to just be their next attempt to do whatever it is the team wanted to do without John. That was another example of the rift that seemed to have been created.
Gotta go help
Piggy
this
would turn out
dumbass
to be a big
claptrap.
failure in the months ahead, but the anti-Karoni team decided they weren't going to leave Safe Moon quiet. Many of them wanted their cut of the pie. Hank Wyatt, for instance, wanted a $3 million severance package.
His best interest is to give me my $3 million severance package.
His big plan was to use his ownership over Safe Moon's various social platforms as leverage.
And enforcing his because I also own the Twitter.
But this bad attempt at
He's
blackmail
at the
sort
big
of
bad right now. Yeah,
backfired
right now.
when this audio call leaked, and Hank was basically just kicked out immediately. The whole team would eventually be...
What am I doing? I don't know.
Because Karoni realized what had happened with Piggy, but I started to wonder, was it just Hank looking for a payout? Do you think Thomas, Kyle, these guys basically got paid off to not become like permanent enemies of Safe Moon?
I believe that Kyle, we had a discussion. They were in legal discussions with their lawyers about suing Safe Moon to regain control. Thomas said that he'll honor whatever Kyle agrees to. One of the things that they were going to ask for was paid to go away. Essentially, I'll sue you for all this fraud and all these things, and you will very possibly have criminal charges, and then he gets a payoff. I believe he got a payoff in the way because it just disappeared. They never said a word to us about what happened.
Well, those are quite the
Sure looks
allegations,
like a jump
but
pad to
in
me.
order to understand whether they're credible, we need to start talking about John Caroni.
All right, so
hey, I'm John. I'm the CEO of SafeMoon.
We already know
was.
most people didn't like him, but we're going to take our own look at him.
Why is there a display minute?
Caroni's past is mostly military. He worked for the Department of
What the
Defense,
fuck,
and his parents
Gabe?
are both former CIA. And it's clear from the beginning that he wanted to run a much different SafeMoon than the others. He saw himself as something of a tech visionary, and he saw SafeMoon as the vehicle for that. He said SafeMoon was a technology company.
We're a 9-month-old
I
blockchain
could
innovation
there, but I
company.
just waste
It's our
time.
company.
Ugh.
They were going to build products
Cringe.
like a crypto wallet and, yes, Gambian wind farms. And it wasn't until September 2nd that Caroni would truly get his chance to fulfill this vision. He was already CEO, but a lot of people were struggling with him for power and for influence. But after the piggy bank token disaster, Caroni really got the chance to clean house. He was about to get his chance in the
I'm
driver's seat.
impatient as hell.
When most people talk about visionaries, you think of Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. But everyone forgets that
Steve Jobs.
99% of visionaries are just all talk.
First they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
And Caroni basically fits this second model. He talks a big
Stand
game,
yourself
but
so I can
kind of
shoot
lacks
you.
the track record. Let's start with the Gambian window. Remember that this is that Project Phoenix thing we heard so much.
Welcome to Safe
I
and Rider
hear
Tech
you.
Audience.
Dang.
Reveal. Let's start with wind. We've given you a lot of teasers regarding the wind turbine, but here's the deal. The use of wind power is proven viable, and just a small change will evolve over the years. So the physical designs of turbines.
Now wait a second. I know what you're thinking. That wind turbine looks pretty good.
There, got him.
And that's because it's someone else's wind turbine. A company called Siptiv made it. Here's the actual CEO.
This is Nameway, and a small-scale wind turbine to generate simple, affordable, and reliable.
Okay, I'm
wind
not sorry. Good, good, good.
Now, I
good,
don't know about you, but the fact that SafeMoon didn't build the technology in their tech demo seems like a bit of an issue.
Here at SafeMoon, an issue.
Where, oh, where am I
Just an
actually
excuse.
trying to fucking go?
So what was that innovation? Well, if you can get past PhD level word salad, basically they put little dots on the windmill and claim to make it more efficient, which gonna need to see some evidence for that one, fellas. And SafeMoon's other technologies aren't much better. SafeMoon launched their own crypto wallet, which was supposed to replace the popular Trust Wallet app. The only issue is
It seems to be a one-to-one copy of the Trust Wallet, but now it has the SafeMoon logo on it and has the SafeMoon colors.
And all of this is right in line with SafeMoon's business practices from the very beginning, when they took V-Token, renamed it, and called it a big innovation. Or, sorry, they called it an evolution.
SafeMoon is the evolution. SafeMoon is the evolution.
Create an evolution.
You have to be
there.
willing to evolve.
How far can I jump across here? Or am I just gonna hit
But now
across
that we've
another
talked
jet
about
plane?
SafeMoon's contributions to technology, we need to talk about the one
Yeah,
thing
'cause
they
that's
did
what I
that
made
does
it for,
seem
right?
original, and that's the V2
Okay.
contract. See, SafeMoon was still getting flack for being the clone of a rug pull, so they decided they were going to upgrade it. Now, mind you, this is different from like the V2 liquidity pool we talked about Papa migrating to. This is an actual upgrade of the token itself.
I just missed the
Unsurprisingly,
jump
this
pad while I was down there.
upgrade would turn
Am I
out
really
to be a
that blind?
total disaster. The big differences for version 2 were really the changed fees. Instead of a 10% tax split 2 ways, there were now 4 different uses of the fees, as well as a switch to a proxy contract. But the big question became, how do you get everyone to switch over to this V2 token? They didn't want to split their community, so they decided to force people to switch using an 100% tax. What could go wrong?
The big one
What the
is
hell?
regarding the 100% tax.
What did she?
Yeah. So basically, we
Oh,
had
that's so
to,
cool.
we were shutting down V1.
So yes,
Neat.
they raised their tax of SafeMoon from 10% to 100% in an attempt to make the V1 token useless and force everyone to migrate their tokens over to V2 where it's actually usable. The problem of this is that a lot of people who invest in SafeMoon aren't tech savvy, and when you send money on SafeMoon with this 100% tax, you can do, you get completely wiped out.
Essentially, if you tried to do anything but migrate
Oh,
your
damn.
tokens to V2, you would lose all of your tokens.
Where to go? Hey, newsflash, SafeMoon and anybody else out there. It shouldn't be that complicated.
Now, it turns out you can actually calculate how much people lost in this SafeMoon V1 100% tax thing, and here's what we found.
So the 100%
Oh, it's
tax
right
was
there.
implemented on December 29th. After summing up the incoming SafeMoon and BNB and its historical value, the total losses added up to $102 million.
I'm so sorry, chat. So sorry that you had to watch me, my cringe problem solving.
And that money, it didn't go nowhere. These lost tokens, they went to the liquidity pool. And we know who controls that, John Karony. Now, it's worth saying that some in SafeMoon said they were going to pay people back for these losses. This guy, the Fud Hound, who you saw earlier, real name Ryan, he said that they were going to refund people affected by V1 taxes. 2 weeks later, Ryan would resign or get fired, depending on who you believe. Ryan said he felt forced to follow his code of ethics. Karony said he was fired for breaching confidentiality. Maybe he just said a little too much. But I'm sure losing one of your community figureheads isn't that ominous. I'm sure everything's fine, guys, right? Honestly, this is where SafeMoon really goes from, like, kind of a disaster to full-on everything's falling apart. So it's going to feel like we're jumping around, and I apologize for that. In fact, I actually forgot to mention, we kind of skipped by the fact that at this point, the FBI actually started investigating SafeMoon, so, you know, there's that.
Hank was visited by the FBI at one point, asked about all of us.
I guess it says something when an FBI investigation is a side item, that you're like, oh yeah, did I mention that? And not only that, things got worse, of course, because calls leaked of former SafeMoon members.
I'm excited to have
talking
this,
about
like, ice
deleting
skill tree done.
in case of an FBI investigation.
You also gotta be careful
Ooh.
because if they believe that you deleted it out of intent to, hide evidence.
No, if you're deleting it before being subpoenaed, you're not deleting any evidence of anything, you're just deleting your messages.
It's a true FBI operation here, redacted everything.
The strategy seemed to be, delete evidence before they tell us not to delete evidence, which we'll see how that works out for them. Although we may not have to wait that long because soon after this, a class action lawsuit was filed against SafeMoon. The creators of SafeMoon and all the influencers who promoted it were all accused of pumping and dumping the coin. And frankly,
I was really worried I was about to head into that.
97 pages of evidence, it does seem pretty overwhelming. Like I said, at this point, things were just falling apart. And while Karony would usually use this time to pivot to some new harebrained scheme he had cooked up, his interviews started to go a little differently.
There were a group of people who accused SafeMoon of false and misleading statements and not having the liquidity behind the currency. Are you talking to your community, or are you just hoping they all go away?
Yikes, that's probably not how he thought that was gonna go. Now, Karony gives the stock response, of course.
Again, we won't comment on the ongoing case, but SafeMoon will continue mission, will continue moving forward.
Should just shot it. I didn't have to jump at it.
Their play is here. SafeMoon is down 90%, and almost everyone has abandoned ship.
I still have, unfortunately, the worst coin that ever existed, SafeMoon. I came on this show. I bought $40,000 of it, and I now have 2,000 left. So.
And at this point, John Karony is really sort of the last one standing. He's the last one left, and I'm sure the most relevant question many people have at this point is like,
wait, is this not in?
Kyle took money, we get it. Papa took money, fine. The V2
Short
robbed people of millions of dollars, okay. Maybe they'll one day pay that back. Karony sucks as a boss, fine. They're getting sued, okay. Actually, none of this is okay. But the question is Karony actively profiting from SafeMoon the way Kyle and Papa did? Is he misappropriating the LP? As I'm writing this is still the sentiment in SafeMoon's Discord. These people still believe the great John Karony would never do anything sketchy. Quote, I can't imagine him doing anything unethical with the pool of money. So now we're going to shift gears and take a look at that. Is Karony the hero who kicked out all the bad apples? Is he an out-of-touch visionary who bites off more than he can chew? Or is he something else? As I started my investigation, the first thing I realized with Karony is that he behaves differently than Kyle and Papa. He doesn't move liquidity around as much, but it's clear he's getting the money from somewhere. After all, he claims SafeMoon had 90 employees. So where did the money come from to pay for all these people? Naturally, I asked around.
They're paid
Defend the messenger.
to be on Mart.
Wonder how
Correct.
scaled everything is.
Ginger, Bitmart is the source of new funds, allegedly. Bitmart, by the way, is an exchange like Coinbase, and they were one of the first to list SafeMoon on their exchange. But the answer you just heard, that SafeMoon is being paid to list on Bitmart, didn't sound right to me. So I asked Bitmart via email, and they replied that they weren't paying SafeMoon. It was the other way around.
Yes!
Quote, SafeMoon paid Bitmart to be listed. So then the question is, how is SafeMoon making millions from Bitmart? Because we know that recently an employee came
I'll punch him
forward
over these guys. Gary?
that after SafeMoon signed the Bitmart deal, quote, John said to us that he was going to put us all in a new tax bracket. But this person says they
It's
never
killing
got
pants.
money.
What about the
Again,
mugging
the question is
outfit?
not if SafeMoon was making money, but how they were doing it, since they weren't being paid to be listed. I had to dig in deep. So I started to look at the way things worked on
Thanks for
Bitmart,
your help, stranger.
because it was a little bit different.
You're a little late,
See,
though.
Bitmart
I was told you
artificially
expected Dole
implemented
Soldier, but something
tokenomics the
tells
way
me they're
SafeMoon
not coming.
always had,
And I haven't
with a
got time to ask too
10%
many
tax.
questions.
However, the way Bitmart did it was
We need to
slightly
finish the job
different.
and deliver that
Normally,
echo to a
5% of
girl
each
in black,
transaction would go
waiting at the
directly
Upper
to the
Bar,
liquidity
Concordia.
pool, but Bitmart
She
did it
knows the
slightly
code to unlock
differently.
that message.
Quote, 5% will be returned
Think
to
I'll
the
rest here a while.
developers to be added back to the
Consider my
liquidity
debt
pool for SafeMoon tokens.
paid.
So instead of sending the fees directly to the LP, they sent it to SafeMoon's developers to do it. But go with me here. What if the money never
Concordia?
made it
Cool.
there? What if Bitmart sent those fees to SafeMoon to put in the LP and they just kept it? That would be pretty damning, wouldn't it? But the question is, how do we find out for sure this is correct? And this is when I realized that I knew that Coronio's goal was to figure out if he was getting large payments for Bitcoin and what he was doing. Because bear in mind, he's not a rich man, SafeMoon. So if he's getting millions of dollars from Bitmart, we know why. The problem is, he was the most clever of all of these guys at hiding his wallets. Coroni is like a ghost. I didn't have anything on him. So to figure this out, I knew I'd have to dig deeper than I ever had before. I started by trying to talk to people who had worked for SafeMoon. I knew one of them would have seen Coroni's wallets, right? Like, or have been paid by it. And I just kind of had to convince them to tell me what it was. Now, obviously, most of the people I talked to said, well, I can't talk. Maybe they felt threatened, or they felt like they were under NDA, or they just didn't want to be part of a piece. Fair enough. But eventually, I found the right person. He said, quote, there's a lot of information
Get
surrounding
lost, I'm waiting
SafeMoon.
for
Yes,
someone.
I do have an
And you don't
NDA
look like
regarding
a
internal
Hannah.
things, but
Yes,
a lot
well,
of things I
here's the
witnessed
thing.
aren't
She's
covered
addicted
under that.
to dead.
Now, this person asked to
Dead?
remain
That's awful.
anonymous for obvious
She said
reasons.
she had
Well, that happened to her
I
face.
felt threatened before
I'm about to ship
by
out
some
and
of the
leave this
members
lunar
of
cesspit
SafeMoon, and they
behind
wished
forever,
to not
so I
repeat
guess I'll
that
never know what it
chapter
was.
of their lives. But when I got on the
Reaches
phone
out
with this person,
hand.
they were a gold mine.
Huh,
They had
thanks.
direct links to
It's
several of the
asking
team
for a
members
4-digit
and
code.
provided
I
two
only know
really
one.
important
I
wallets in
wonder.
particular. The
He only
most
knows
notable
one-digit
were
codes.
a Kyle wallet, who's the creator of
I
SafeMoon,
didn't die
and
that
John
terrible day,
Caroni's secret wallet
but was
that they've
instead
both
taken
been
by
hiding, and
Elpis,
they
along
tell
with
us
most of my
a
soldiers.
lot. We're going to start with
There,
John Caroni's
entombed
alleged
beneath the
wallet, which is
ground,
this. The first
I
thing we
found
find
a
is
higher
that he was
calling.
receiving massive
Every
payments
day I
of
wonder
tether,
if giving you
totaling
up
up
was
to
the right choice.
$15 million.
The
And where
universe,
did these payments
in
come from?
exchange for the
From
one
Bitmart.
person I
He also
love.
had $4 million in
But my
SafeMoon.
actions protect the
This would all
universe
seem
and
to
therefore
confirm the theory
protect
that
you.
the fees from Bitmart that were
This echoes
supposed
my
to go to the
backup plan.
LP may have
I've
been used
missed
by
watching you grow.
Caroni. After
And
all,
guess since
he said
this
the
mission
Bitmart deal would
won't be
put them
when
in
I
a new
come back
tax
from.
bracket. But in addition to that, I
truly
also
sorry.
saw something else, which
Listen
is
to your old mom
millions
one
of dollars
last time.
flowing from
Bad
Caroni's
things are
wallet
about to happen,
to a
and you
familiar
must flee
address.
Elpis
Not the
immediately,
liquidity
or you
pool,
will
but
die.
Kyle, the creator of
Know that I was
SafeMoon, the
always
one
proud
we
of
had been
you.
told had
That I
been
didn't
paid
want
off
this
by
for
Caroni.
us.
And this all
And that we'll
corroborates
meet
the
again.
information that the Ginger gave
Lock
me
and load,
earlier.
honey.
I believe you got to pay
It's
off
a
in a little
beautiful,
way because it
terrible
just
universe
disappeared.
out there.
You never said a word to us about what happened.
Not that this case is
Very
fully
cool,
settled.
Zabadon.
We still have many
It's been
questions,
so
like
long.
what exactly was
Thank
this
you,
$3 million
stranger,
payment
for
to
so
Kyle
much.
for? Where did the rest of the
take this
money from
gun.
Bitmart
It
go?
belonged to my
I reached
mother,
out to John
Colonel
Caroni
Timestina
about this
Zarpedon,
regarding this
and I
investigation
think she'd
for
want
over
whoever
a
delivered
month
her final
to see if he had
echo
any way of explaining these problems. He declined to comment.
I delivered her final words more than
It may
once.
just be that
Ba-da-bum-bum.
there is no good explanation for this, and Caroni just wants to stay quiet. But the question is, where does that leave us? The story of SafeMoon may not be over, but the winners and losers are basically decided. The winners are Kyle, Papa, and Caroni,
Look at
who
video
all made
games.
millions of dollars off this thing. Not to mention the several SafeMoon insiders who we didn't even have time to talk about today. They also got a cut, and the influencers, they also got a cut. Basically everyone except for the real believers in SafeMoon won. The real losers were the people who held on to hope, held on to the belief that maybe if they just trusted this new fancy crypto thing, they could escape their dead-end jobs. Maybe they felt stepped on by the system like Kyle used to. Only for them, this time they were just stepped on again, just in a new way, in a new system created not by governments or laws, but by unregulated financial markets. The only real hope for justice here is that regulators do what they've been failing to do for so long.
Yeah, I'm looking at you play through. I'm so good at
Which is
video games.
protect consumers from fraud. And ultimately, I do believe that's what's happened here. Fraud. I think you can get lost in semantics, in the stupidity smokescreen that SafeMoon kicks up. You know, you can get lost talking about the Gambian wind farms, but ultimately the real story is that SafeMoon said,
Shoots gun once. Yep, I'm sold.
Your money is safe, and it wasn't. They
Oh, there's a fucking,
at the
like,
expense of the investors, and that's the
boards
story.
between.
It's not enough.
Oh, come on. Look at all the evidence.
I'm telling you, Coffee, evidence does not matter. You're exposing things people don't want exposed.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, I'm just kind of glad it's all over.
Can I fight a raid
Now
boss?
that
Let's
that's
find out.
over, let's give the people what they really want. I just got a hot lead on Will Smith.
Wait, hold that thought, Maxwell. I just got a text from Papa. He wants to talk.
Oh, brother, you can't be serious. You're not really considering this, are you?
Of course I am. He could be the final piece to all of this.
No, he's not. I'm telling you, they don't want you know.
Well, I do, and I'm taking this call.
Next time on
What would you like to hear?
This feels like fraud. This is fraud. I mean, how could it not be? You guys are millionaires.
Tell one
your
about
investors
them,
are down
about you
90%,
killing a
and you
raid
guys are
boss.
millionaires directly from a representation that was false. Do you feel bad for all the SafeMoon investors have watched this coin that they loved like plummet 90%?
Yeah, they do.
As you should, by the way.
What the fuck?
Did
Somebody's
you
just
ever
blaring their horn.
suspect
Did you get that?
fraud?
Yes. No, I didn't. I never got a payout that big. Never. I'm sure we'll see this on Netflix someday.
Let's go, baby.
Hi, I'm CoffeeZilla, and I, alongside some other researchers, investigated SafeMoon. And we just published a 40-minute breakdown about why we think this billion-dollar market cap company, or coin, was fraudulent. And the story basically came down to...
You have own name locations. Yay! I'm so cool. Oh shit, he's a level higher than I am. Oh no, chat. Hey. Oh wow. It's it will. Yeah,
To be honest, I respect it. It takes guts to take on hard questions. And what follows is the highlight. I think we should start with the moment that I confront the team basically committing fraud.
Yeah, he fired the laser.
I mean, to be honest, I'll be honest, even because I feel like you know. How is this not fraud?
While you lasted.
The part where, you know, everything's locked
That was
up,
easy.
guys. Don't worry, the money's locked up. Don't worry, we'll never touch it. If we did, we'd go to jail and get a lawsuit. And then subsequently, everybody who owns the contract touches the LP and takes money. How is that not fraud?
I think at first people, like, we were trying to do the auto locking. And then
How long can I be on fire for?
started, John leveraged to have it unlocked. So there was a lot of shifting at first.
But no, the LP was taken from before John ever got on board. It was taken from March 5th. From the beginning, money was being taken out of the LP.
I mean, you definitely ask those questions, but I don't have answers for you.
Well, here, I'll send you the transaction because I don't want to make a. I never like to make statements where people.
I know
don't...
it's alright. It's on the blockchain. It's on the blockchain.
Here, I'll send you the transaction though, just so you can check for yourself. I don't want you to think that this is some kind of a thing. There he is taking 36 trillion SafeMoon out of the LP on March 5th. How is this not
Moon
fraud?
money.
At this
Money.
time, they're saying
Moon?
it's auto-magically locking up for 4 years. You never have to worry. And then you guys end up with millions of dollars, and the investors end up with negative 90%. I mean, you can understand the problem there.
Well, yeah, I see the
But
problem.
still.
For sure.
Okay, so Papa says he sees the problem. But what does that mean? And how much did Papa get paid for this whole disaster? That's a huge question that I've had from the beginning, and so I asked him about it. How much money did you profit from SafeMoon?
The amount that I got
Das ist das.
was
Ah.
right around that, like the 2 million mark.
Okay, Papa made $2 million, according to him. Now, I personally think it might be more than that, but throughout our call, that's the number he really stuck to. He said he never had any secret wallets, and any other wallets were just paying lawyers, PR firms, and other groups. He only made $2 million, according to him, and he said Kyle paid him a lot of that. Oh, you got it from like, Kyle?
Shield.
Yeah, actually, he gave me $1 million in SafeMoon at one point.
Rip.
But the question is, where did Kyle get that money from? Because if you listen to Papa or anyone else in SafeMoon, most of SafeMoon's expenses come from Kyle's participation in the pre-sale and not the liquidity pool.
Well, now.
Did you pay from the deployer wallet 1 trillion tokens to John, the Gabe wallet?
So the deployer wallet,
I ascend.
we actually talked about this a lot in the early days, kind of like buried beneath everything else today now. But if you search for it, I'm sure you'll find it. The deployer wallet, the balance that was in it was one of the early pre-sale. Like so, he threw like $300 into the launch of it. I don't even think that he was the first player to save
Am I stabbing?
Yeah. So that was how it started. Whatever came out of that was out of pocket.
Yeah, I guess it's that.
Always been safe. The money Kyle's been filled with. The tokens Coroni got, it all comes from the magical pre-sale tokens. But this cannot be true, because when you crunch the numbers, most of Kyle's SafeMoon tokens didn't come from the pre-sale at all. It didn't even come from the tokens that Kyle was constantly buying or selling. To illustrate this, I created a pie chart to show you the proportion of Kyle's SafeMoon tokens. In red is the amount he took from the liquidity pool. In blue is the pre-sale, and in yellow is the net SafeMoon he purchased and then sold. So as you can see, a huge amount of Kyle's tokens came from the liquidity pool, meaning that Thomas has some explaining to do. Kyle, specifically, because I know you got paid and you paid Coroni a bunch of money. So when you actually look at Kyle's LP, or his SafeMoon amounts, he couldn't have provided that had he not been taking money from the LP. So you guys, your payment was coming from liquidity that was supposed to be for the investors.
I mean, I really don't know anything about what was happening with the owner before I had it.
You didn't know he was taking money out?
No.
It seems like the former CTO of a blockchain project is saying he didn't know what Kyle had done on the blockchain, that he had basically been pulling money out of the project from the beginning. Now, I'll be honest, this seems hard to believe. Later, Papa admits it makes him uncomfortable, the idea that maybe some of his funds came from a stolen liquidity pool.
Let's go get more pistol ammo so that I can go beat up the Sentinel.
You know, we got it from the pre-sale. So I'm uncomfortable with that. If it didn't come from the pre-sale.
Right. I mean, that's the whole problem. I agree with you. I actually agree with you. If SafeMoon Dev had bought it in the pre-sale, and he had decided to give you guys a payout, and that's how you guys made your millions,
Hope it helps you kill
we wouldn't
stuff.
be talking.
It's so
right? The problem is that there was an express thing that was the whole purpose of SafeMoon, the whole idea of SafeMoon was we're going to go safely to the moon. It's in the name. How are we going to go safely to the moon? Well, these other DeFi projects rug. We're not going to rug. What's not going to make us rug? We're auto-magically locking the LP. Except, no, we aren't. We're taking from the LP, and that's actually how we're making our millions of dollars.
It's definitely obvious that that stance changed.
Now, here's where our conversation takes a big turn. We've already discussed the whole I didn't realize this was from the liquidity pool argument, and here comes their next one. Basically, SafeMoon had pivoted and changed their story, and they had told people that they were going to be taking money out of the liquidity pool. But is that true?
It's definitely obvious that that stance changed. I was locking the LP myself. I was doing it.
But that stance changed. April 21st was your all-time high. you guys were still.
It's like the day before that I locked the 250.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you guys were still changing the story at the time of your all-time high. So even if it changed, it's sort of like too little, too late. So many people are on this ride. You know what I mean? See, that's the whole problem with this story. Even though SafeMoon eventually told people that they would be taking money out of the liquidity pool, this argument doesn't stand up because they'd been taking the money out before they told anyone. That's the critical issue. March 5th is the first time they took money out, and their official stance was still changing in April. Papa didn't seem to see this as too big of a problem, though.
We were pivoting often in those days. So we started out on a WordPress page that definitely couldn't handle this stuff. There was a lot of shit on there that shouldn't have been there to begin with.
But even your page up in April was LP. There's something about auto locking LP or LP locked on PancakeSwap for 4 years. Blah blah blah. You're talking about auto locking LP. People think you're auto locking it up. I mean,
I was not making any. Like, I never made any claims as to automatic or manual. Like, I was showing people, I was telling people when I was doing it. So we did it all together in Discord.
Right. No, I understand that. Maybe you were like saying to people who asked, but the organization as a whole had made a certain representation, right? So the organization said. Okay,
back then, I don't even think there was an organization fully made yet.
Fine, a website. Somebody would say that this thing's auto-locking. This is the whole thing behind SafeMoon in the name, right? And y'all had it in your white paper about the locking, right? The auto-locking? You did. So this is the whole problem that I'm struggling with is I just keep coming back to this feels like fraud. This is fraud. I mean, how could it not be? You guys are millionaires, your investors are down 90%, and you guys are millionaires directly from a representation that was false.
We did tell people when we used it.
We didn't have
I didn't make any false.
so
we did change things a lot.
Now, honestly, this is where things started to kind of go in circles. And so I'll just leave it to you to decide how you want to feel about this. We changed it over time, I think. Now, I want to move on to talk about John Perot. Did you ever suspect Peroni?
Yes.
Wait, what? You did win.
I left, right? Like, when he started threatening to ruin the lives of the people that have been with me for 10 years.
Did I not just go in there? Okay, well that's annoying. I don't have any movements.
All that
I did? No,
fake
good.
articles about Jack, the way that he treated everybody on the way out.
Now, SafeMooners are going to say, oh, you got kicked out.
That's what they try to say about everyone. They didn't say it about me, but I know firsthand that they were trying to prepare a statement. And then their PR firm talked them down.
Wow. Papa says he suspected Peroni of fraud based on how he treated his family employees and said he routinely threatened his coworkers. I continued to dig about this,
thanks for stopping
and I
by,
also
chat.
tried to
I'm gonna go
understand
get some food
more
and do some
about
other stuff now.
SafeMoon's